Okay, let's do this. 3, 2, 1. This is Radio Free Cybertron, episode 572. Recorded sometime in the future. I'm Brian Kilby. With me this week, we have Jason Kirk.
Yeah, I'm first. Woohoo! Hi, everyone.
With your new microphone.
Yes.
So it did come in time. Good.
Yes. EVRE320. And
Nice.
It is fantastic.
I like it. It looks fancy. I have a new shock mount that I paid too much money for, but
I've seen pictures.
It's made for my microphone.
Shocktastic.
Shocktastic. That's Diecast.
Hello.
We have Don, who is doing something. He's looking down and looks like he's sorting papers or something.
Probably trying to keep Massey away from that window still.
No, I gave Massey some food. He's busy enjoying himself.
Cool. And that was Rob Clay. Here's Chris. Chris is about to say something.
So, Don, I was thinking, to protect you from Massey, you know those underground fenceless fences they have for dogs? Where the dog gets a mild shock if it tries to cross the perimeter. We need to outfit you with a belt made of that material and then put the collar on Massey. So if he gets too close to you, he just gets a gentle reminder that he should stay 10 yards away, like there's a court order.
I don't want to collars.
They actually.
I don't want to put I don't want to put a restraining order on my cat. Because I can't pay.
Cool thing is,
said like a true abuse victim, Don.
Cool thing is, they make a portable barrier thing that you can use that does the same purpose. So he could just wear that, and
Well, we could just put Don in a big plastic bubble.
That works better.
Ooh, yeah.
If we get a robust enough material, Massey won't even be able to.
Me neither. No Melvar this week. Matt, apparently Matt needs to move, even though he just built his house.
Yeah.
Apparently, his cable line runs under the road in front of his house, and apparently the DOT severed the cable again.
So,
yeah, it's great. Hey, let's see here. Nothing major coming up. We are going to have a T-shirt store that John has been working on, so we're very excited about that. Do you figure we'll have it up next week, John?
We better. They said 1 to 2 weeks, and Friday will be like 2 weeks.
Okay. So we'll share that out on Twitter and Facebook and everything, and we'll make a nice handy URL for it if there's not already one.
How come it takes so long to get it up?
God. Okay. So but
well, see, all the starch has to have time to settle in. It's T-shirts.
People starch T-shirts in the 21st century.
No.
Yeah, I don't think so. But yeah, so we have that coming up, but not much. This is the sort of dead time of the year. We're just waiting for SDCC. If anything happens then. So,
right.
Yeah. Hey, did anybody get anything this week? I did. If you're watching the video, you'll see it right here. Got Grand Max.
Oh.
Yeah, I feel like I need to sticker him.
See, it just goes to prove how wrong he was, because you've invented a whole new form of economic theory based on those toys that he thought you were wasting your money on.
Yeah.
Don's a millionaire with that room.
You think Don's collection's worth 6 figures? Probably is. He has
a lot of rare stuff, so
it probably is.
If anybody's is, probably.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Well,
believe me,
I've been
3 figures.
I've been tempted to just say, hey, come buy out my apartment. Every single thing I own for X number of dollars just to get rid of it.
Yeah, I've thought about that. Okay, so I'll mention it. So I don't know how many toys I have. I know that when I was counting, the last time I counted in 2004, 2005, I had like 1,600 figures.
Wow.
Yeah. So that video has been circulating on the internet of the guy who BBC or whoever thinks has the world's largest Transformers collection of over 2,000 toys.
Right.
I think I have over 2,000.
Probably.
But how many of yours are official?
A couple hundred.
No, it's. I'm more official than unofficial, but the unofficial is catching up.
So yeah, not knocking guy's collection because he had some good stuff, and he in the video did not claim that he had the world's largest collection. The video producers were the ones who suggested that. But it's just funny that they said in the Guinness Book of World Records the largest Transformers collection was 1,000 pieces. And I'm like, when did somebody have that? In like 1985? Like, so, I have no idea.
Because if John and Carl had had it, it probably still would be unbroken.
Yeah.
So,
Seriously.
Yeah.
Yeah, they really should have gotten contact with them when they had their collection at its high point back 5-10 years ago now.
Yeah. They sold through a ton of stuff. I mean, I sold through some stuff too, but I don't think I sold more than a couple hundred items over the course of 20 years. But yeah, I thought that was a funny video, and a lot of people have been sharing it. So Grand Max, I have that, and that's all I got this week. Anybody else?
He looks very.
Don, what are you going to say?
He looks very pretty, Brian. He looks very pretty. I just wish I cared more about that figure. And it wasn't such a letdown, but it's a gorgeous looking repaint.
I'll be honest with you.
Yeah.
I was way happier with Great Shot.
I'm not surprised.
Yeah.
Kind of
Great Shot.
understandable.
That mold's easier to play with. I mean,
Yeah.
Yeah. Chris, did you get anything? Did you have any luck today?
Oh, no.
Okay.
Thank you for going to the effort, though. I appreciate it.
I checked mine. I didn't see anything. So, for talking about Trypticon, which is supposedly hit Ollie's last week, should have gone.
I mean, it did.
Yeah.
Yeah, it did.
It's been and gone, and I'm just going to let it pass.
Matt DM'd me a photo of the stack of them from his store when he went, just rub it in a little bit.
Yeah.
Oh, that sounds right.
It's kind of like
He could have dropped one off on the way to JoeCon.
he could have. It's one of those things like I bought an extra Fort Max when they got Fort Max in last year, and then I just gave it to Toys for Tots because I don't need another Fort Max, and I don't need another
But you just
Trypticon.
bought Grand Max. So.
Yes, I realized the irony of that. Yes.
Yes, if you really want to hide that from Kim, just swap it out in your display with Fort Max and put that in a closet somewhere and just see if she ever notices.
So speaking of closets, the shelf in my closet day before yesterday, I thought it was thunder. Apparently, what happened is the shelf collapsed, and everything came down, raining down. Fortunately, not much in the way of damage, but God, my floor is completely full of stuff that I have to put a new shelf up. And the owners of the house before us, I thought everything was anchored. I thought everything was anchored into studs. They just used those drywall anchors. It's amazing that it held for as long as it did.
Yep.
Yeah, it's crazy.
We have a detached garage, which is like 20, 30 feet off the house. It was built after the house was put here. And we had a big shelf in there collapse last year, I think. And you could hear that all the way to the other side of, like the opposite side of the house.
No
It
doubt.
was that loud.
No doubt. That's crazy. So diecast, you did not get Taobao, but did you get anything else?
I did not get anything. And it's not by lack of trying, because I went to, well, not that anything new is going to pop up at Toys R Us, but I went to my Toys R Us's and I was kicking myself a little bit because the one Toys R Us still had 2 of the Planet Cybertrons, and they're now up to 40% off. And I was like, oh, I could have got it for like $90.
Yeah.
Speaking of Toys R Us real quick, though, if anybody listening still has a Toys R Us they can get to, and there happens to still be a Studio Series Thundercracker on the shelves, you may want to pick up an extra, because Toy Hacks just put out an update today, and among their conversion sticker kits is one set for that Thundercracker that is G2 Dreadwing inspired, and it's actually pretty cool
Really?
looking.
Oh,
Yeah,
yes.
I saw that. I saw that in my email. I think when I was actually on my first stop on my trip today.
I noticed that today, because I had to check my spam folder, I was looking for something, and all my Toy Hacks emails have been going to my spam folder for months.
that's not
yeah.
cool.
Yeah, so I definitely fixed that. So unfortunately. Jason, you anything?
But to get in the show every week, I had to sell my soul. And by sell my soul, I mean never see another new toy in my area again. So,
Well,
no.
Yeah.
I have nothing.
Yeah, there's maybe a reason for that. Don,
Yeah.
anything?
Yeah, it's. I got Trypticon last week. I picked up 2, one from me, one from my friend Fred, and I picked up today. I was bored, couldn't find anything. I picked up the little Megatron and Optimus.
Oh,
I guess
Ah.
are these the Authentics? Is what they're
Yeah.
calling the
Oh,
Authentics?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Put it away.
Yeah,
It's ugly.
these-
It's going to
these
break
are-
the camera.
These are the, if the camera ain't broke yet from you, Diecast, it's a very good camera. I picked up him and Optimus. I don't know why. I just decided to.
I kind of like that little Megatron, honestly.
I like that one.
I can't find it.
It's not bad. It's just the problem is the vehicle mode. It doesn't quite solidify, and it's just kind of. It's like in robot mode, his feet are literally just on the side as like blast panels. That's his foot, and his arms do the whole. Warpath from the Megatron mold, where the arms come together and the cannon fits in the middle. That it's basically that, but it's like, for example, here on the front, you can tell there's the gap, and they don't peg together. There's two little tabs on top that the legs slot into as like guide points, but the gap doesn't actually close, and so when you put the legs together. And then you put the cannon on top. It's basically the same thing as that Megatron that came with Chop Shop a couple years ago, and then the Warpath repaint.
Yeah.
So it's not bad. It's just I'm glad I didn't buy. If I had saw the $10 version, I'm glad I didn't buy that. So if there is a $10 version,
I don't think there is.
So,
no, there's not.
Don, did you get anything else? Because you just struck a chord. You reminded me of something.
No, that's all I got. Trypticon and these two was it.
I did get the $10 Authentics, and I completely forgot about it. Where did you find yours?
I found these two at Family Dollar.
Okay.
I stopped by Dollar General, but didn't see anything there. But it was too hot to do a toy crawl for these.
I found the $10 toys, two of them, Bumblebee and Grimlock, at Family Dollar.
What do you think of that Grimlock?
So I like the look of the small Authentics at this price point. I hate to say this. I don't think this line helps Hasbro or the Transformers at all. I think it's actually detrimental to the health of the brand. They're so bad.
Oh well.
They're so bad. And it's like, I think it says age 4+ or 6+. I wouldn't want a kid playing with them. I don't like them. And I love toyetic toys. I love toys that are fiddly and, toy-like. I don't mind so much that, like, the Generations toys are hollow because they're toys. But these are, like, they're almost knockoff quality. The plastic's better, but it's like it is a third-rate dollar store Transformer, except it's official. And I kind of hate them.
I guess you raised a good point, Brian. This is actually the first toy that I would actually consider using the shampoo bottle analogy for that I personally have had in my collection. This is very shampoo bodily. Shampoo bottle.
Bodily.
Yeah. Bodily. So I mean, it's a desk fiddler. It's like what Eric does with his figures. He'll put them on the desk. He'll play with them. He'll take funny pictures.
But I have good toys to put on my desk.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just don't see the appeal or I don't get the intent behind these.
Yeah.
The intent is that people who would not spend $17 on a deluxe figure for their kids can still get a figure for their kids.
Yeah, but just
that's it.
Make it smaller.
Yeah.
Make it a good toy.
Look at the size of that Megatron Don's hand. They did make it smaller still.
But but the $10 one that I have is like the size of a deluxe or larger, but it's crap.
Yeah, I think Walkie posted a picture that showed it's almost exactly the same size as Power of the Prime's Voyager Grimlock.
Yeah.
And a third of the price, which is the point.
Yeah.
In places that people are going to go to do their everyday shopping as opposed to going specifically somewhere for toys.
Yeah.
I did just find a way to redeem the Megatron. He is 5mm compatible, so he's holding Shuffler. So the figure has been
that's
officially
that works.
redeemed.
I mean,
I bet you Shuffler weighs exactly as much as that Megatron does.
You're probably right. I like the look of that Megatron. I wish I had. Yeah, but this Grimlock looks okay. Bumblebee looks terrible.
I'm kind of hoping that the rumors and leaks that have been going around that make me think that there could be like generations versions of these Authentics designs turn out to be true, because I would not mind a generation style figure of the Authentics design Megatron.
But the trick is, would you ever be able to find one in a store?
Well, that is the question.
Okay, so let's get through this so we can talk about that. So Rob, did you get anything?
Not a thing.
John, did you get anything?
Nope. Sorry.
Okay, so like right at the end of the show last week, we got a text message at 931-994-6268, which you can leave us a text or a voicemail. And I'll just go ahead and read it because we've been wanting to talk about it all week. Okay, the text message says, hey guys, love the show. I'll make this short and sweet, and then parentheses, better. What's to make of the Power of the Primes distribution lately? I work for a large retailer, and the Deluxes and Voyagers say they're out at the DC, distribution center. Wave 2 Deluxes were on pegs very shortly, and that's how I completed my Dinobots. But since the replenishment was another Wave 1, followed by the, quote, out at DC, unquote, Voyager, was only Wave 1 and done. Any insight on what the heck is going on, or what a collector should do when hunger is going to go for double the price? Keep up the good work, and love you, Don. Aw.
Everybody loves Don.
Everybody loves Don.
That's our new show coming to our spin-off channel.
And he and John DeLuna are probably the only ones that everybody uniformly loves. Then there's varying levels of love after that.
Intolerable.
You guys should just have a show. Everybody loves John and Don. And it's like,
well, hey,
almost everybody loves Rob, Brian,
different.
Chris, and Diecast.
Yeah. Well, as different as John and I are, we could be like a perfect strangers generation 2,
If you like dressed in hammer pants and stuff. Don.
I've done more bosom buddies for you two.
Yeah, Don is definitely Balky. The accent, the simple country naivete. Yeah.
The weird
from a
food.
place that doesn't actually exist.
From a place, yeah. Don's home exists. I've been there. So, okay, so yeah, it's weird, isn't it? So
I'm really confused as to what's going on because normally when we have a lapse like this, there's a reason, like, oh, they're changing warehouses, they're changing, plants where they're getting made. I mean, none of that stuff.
Or the end of a line.
But this isn't the end of the. We know what the end of the line is, and this is not it.
Planned,
Wave 2 is not it.
The intended end of the line.
I understand that, but still, there's plans for Wave 3, Wave 4. So where's Wave 2? And it's not just one retailer that's having this problem. It's the distributors aren't getting it to get it to the sellers.
When we say distributors, what do we mean by that?
Because the people that buy them direct from Hasbro that can sell them to other places. So
let's step back for a second. When I work in retail, I've worked in retail my entire adult life. The company that I work for, unless I'm mistaken, we don't deal with distributors. We deal with the manufacturer, and we have agreements with our manufacturers. I don't know why Hasbro would be any different. I don't know why Walmart would have to work through a third party to get this. They should be working directly with Hasbro.
Well, big stores, let's say big stores like Walmart, Target, Toys R Us, even though they're going under, they get them. They have a direct relationship with Hasbro. They're getting them
Big Bad has a direct relationship with Hasbro.
Mm-hmm.
Big Bad also does. But Big Bad can also be a distributor for
smaller stores.
And I think a lot of times in retail, when people work at retail, when they say what's going on with distribution, they're talking about their distribution or Walmart's distribution.
Their own network.
Yeah.
Their own supply chain network.
Yeah, that's what I assume they meant by out at the distribution center. Their retailer's distribution center. And if it's out at the distribution center, that either means, there's two answers. Hasbro is not supplying it, or it was simply never ordered.
Right. And I think this is a case of not simply it wasn't ordered, as a case of Hasbro's not getting it to them.
So there are things, to Diecast's point, there are things that could, I don't know how Walmart or Target systems work, but there are things that could pop up that it might not be that they weren't ordered, but they might not be ordered on time. So you have to deal with lead times for anything coming out of China. And I mean, distribution is weeks, and then the actual window where you're going to set the product at the store, depending on the retailer, may be very narrow. So if the product doesn't come in when they're going to set the toy, the old stuff will sit on the shelf until there are enough holes to bring in the new stuff, if they do it at all. So I mean, there are other things that could happen, but that's usually a one-off store problem. This is the case, like, chain wide for multiple chains. Yep. So something ain't good.
You made the point. Sorry, Rob. You made the point that old stock will sit until there's enough space to bring out the new stock if there is a timing problem. But
new stock.
We've seen a lot of observed cases here where there just is no stock. So I mean, like, that's not even the problem we're looking at here in every case.
Yeah, there's tons of space but no stock. I have one, hypothetical for this that, is non-apocalyptic, and I just want to run it by you guys. Could it be, since we know that factory time and design and all these things are planned in advance on a relatively, long-term schedule, could it be that the delay of the Bumblebee movie threw everything out of whack, and that stuff just had to be made and is having to sit somewhere for a street date in December, and that's why there's just nothing around? Could it be that just they expected to have the Bumblebee movie stuff in this space that is empty right now, and that's why there's nothing there?
I was wondering that same thing.
My speculation is that if Hasbro went to Walmart and said, we have to send you this stuff that got made even though our movie was pushed back to the end of the year, but you can't put any of it out on the shelves until then. You got to sit on it in your distribution centers for 8 to 10 months. I believe Walmart would basically just laugh in their faces and then put the stuff out on the shelves anyway.
Yeah.
I don't think you're completely up the wrong tree here, Rob, but I don't think Walmart, for one, definitely would not sit on that stuff and take up space for all that time, especially in the absence of any other product to put out in its place.
Yeah, no, I think he was saying Hasbro holding it, not
that.
For
that's a possibility. That's a possibility too.
Hasbro could have what they call like an import trap, where basically stuff sits until it's needed by the distribution network of whatever retailers they're working with. So that could happen.
That could be creating a bottleneck. I'm just trying to remember exactly what happened with G.I. Joe, whatever the second movie was, where there was where that everything went out on the shelf. There was no movie. And then I'm trying to remember, did the stuff end up getting taken back, or did it just sit there and, wither?
It just sat.
I think the first wave sold. And first wave, I mean the first, order that the stores got. And then I think the next wave was put out towards when the movie came out, if I remember correctly, but I could be wrong.
So, it's been so long, I don't remember exactly what went down there.
The more I think about what Rob said, though, the more that makes sense when it comes to manufacturing capacity. They may have prioritized the Bumblebee stuff, and they may have dwindled or decreased the amount of generation stuff they're producing. Knowing that, hey, the Bumblebee stuff is going to come and take up most of the same space. But now that that's delayed, they could be holding that at their import facility, and they don't have enough of the generation stuff to satisfy demand. Could be, but, we've also had issues with distribution over the last several years. I think it's just worse now. So I would honestly think it's probably just a chronic issue and not necessarily a specific issue with a specific root cause, but it very well could be.
I mean, the only reason I don't think it's the Bumblebee movie messing everything up is that Wave 2, which is what we're having most of the problems with, whether it's Leader, Voyager, or the Deluxes, would have been slated to be made along with the Bumblebee stuff anyway, because it should have been out by now. So, and there's places like Jason and I know we ordered from Captured Prey, and it's not that Captured Prey is delayed. They can't get it because whoever their distributor is, which I don't know, it could be, it could be Entertainment Earth, it could be Diamond, it could be, any of those, hasn't gotten the stock to send it to them. So, and I have a hard time believing that, their distributor would have put their order in late or anything like that. The thing that really confuses me is that Hasbro's main job is to sell toys. So
yeah,
and the warehouse's job is to make toys. So
factory's job is to make toys. The warehouse's job is to hold toys.
Yeah,
I'm just. Or
we get where you're going with that.
Yeah. So I don't understand. And to use Don's line, they're leaving money on the table.
Well, maybe they're not. So typically, what they try to do is try to meet demand with capacity. And if Transformers aren't selling as well as they were, they're not going to produce as many Transformers. But when you look at other Hasbro properties like Star Wars and Marvel Legends, those shelves those are full. Those are very full. I think it's a problem with Transformers more so than I think it's a problem with Hasbro. I don't think it's a manufacturing concern. I think it's entirely retail, and there's probably not enough demand of Transformers to warrant all of this production, which it's unfortunate for us. But I mean, it's just fact.
It seems like that's possible. I don't doubt that that's a possibility. I especially since again I feel like a lot of this probably leads back to the severe underperformance of The Last Night in a lot of ways. But at the same time, it's just, if that were the case, if retailers were ordering less Transformers stuff, I feel like there would not be this much empty space on every shelf of every store we go to. I feel like if they were ordering less, they would update their planograms to compensate for that space and not have all that empty space in the
and Walmart largely has done that, actually.
Well, yeah.
Because mine just has like big empty gaps where there should be stuff.
So if Walmart works like other companies, those planogram updates don't happen. They are not there to match replenishment. They're there to match the original setup of whatever set they have in place. So they probably update the planograms once a year, twice a year maybe, but they would only, like the infrequent updates during the year would only be like replacing generations for movie stuff and not completely drawing new planograms, if I had to guess. Where they probably do those the major planogram revisions once every year or every year and a half, and that's just to make sure they have the space available. Replenishment isn't necessarily tied to that. So if they're not selling, they're not replenishing.
No, I mean,
they are selling though.
I think the movie stuff probably does have something to do with it, because I've pointed this before. If you look at the history of the movie toy lines, Revenge of the Fallen was the biggest one of all. Dark of the Moon scaled back some because the second half, let's say, of the Revenge of the Fallen product line, as it was transitioning into Hunt for the Decepticons, that stuff started languishing. The sales dropped off because the movie wasn't fresh anymore. Also, people saw it and it was crap. Dark of the Moon was smaller, but still fairly big. It didn't sell very well, by all accounts. Age of Extinction was smaller still. At the time, I was even praising them for compacting the line down, focusing it more on, a core offering. Of course, they had those fast action battlers or whatever in the confusing packaging where you couldn't tell, is this a real toy or a quick change toy? And then we all know the Last Night was smaller still, but the thing with the Last Night is that Walmart had to clearance out all of it. Every price point had to go on clearance. I got a Voyager Megatron for $7. I got some deluxes even cheaper than that. I mean, I'm glad to have been able to get some of that stuff really cheap, because I probably wasn't ever going to pay full retail for it, which is kind of the problem. But, I think that's had a trickle-down effect. It certainly made it where the third wave and that hypothetical fourth wave that just cycled Cogman in never really had any kind of meaningful chance in the U.S. marketplace. And also... Oh, go ahead, Don.
Well, and also all their exclusives never materialized, other than the flip and change hot rod. The small hot rod never materialized at all, except online for a short period of time. And then that whole subline, the two small Legion class figures, we've seen those at Ross months ago. So not only did the regular waves not show up, the exclusives never materialized.
And I want to address a point. Jay Zachary is saying in the chat that compared to some of the other Hasbro properties, like the Marvel figures or the Star Wars figures, his observation is that the Transformers pegs clear very fast once they're replenished. And, that's probably true. Like, Power of the Prime stuff will probably go fast, but that's because the stores will put out one or maybe at most two cases at a time and then not have any more for some weeks while they're waiting for a refill from the distribution center. That's at most 16 toys. So, I mean, it's great that stuff is moving off the shelves and getting into people's hands when it comes in, but at the same time, that is still just 16 units in maybe the course of 2 months' time. So it's still not a great result.
I live in a relatively small town, and I am not the only Transformers collector in this town. And heck, we have one person in the chat at least who lives in Charlotte, and he drives up here looking for toys. So, good stuff on the shelves it goes, but that's because, like, to your point, they might put out a case or they might put out two cases. Then everything else that people already have just sits. Yeah, so
it's especially bad with like Robots in Disguise, because those subsequent cases keep recycling in toys from previous waves. Now, that's to make sure that some of the core character toys are available to kids who are just starting on the cartoon, which is over now, so that's maybe not so helpful anymore. But, I mean, at the same time, it is still cycling a lot of old product that most of the people who are going to be buying that probably already have and don't want to see it.
And to that point, I'm glad you mentioned that. So, also, it's not just because those are core characters. One of the reasons that old stuff gets put back on the shelves when they replenish, it's because they haven't sold through the old stock and it's still in the network. So they have cases of Wave 1, and there are no cases of Wave 2, for example, because they've not ordered it, because Wave 1 is still setting in all their DCs. And, Walmart's replenishment people, the store, they don't specifically say, well, I want Wave 2. They say, I want another box of Transformers, and they get what they get.
Yeah.
One more question.
Well, Don is about to say something.
Oh, no, I just want to say, and the whole thing for Last Night boils down to is Hasbro has been to this rodeo before, if not with Transformers, with Star Wars and other properties. Launching the Last Night with Wave 1 like that just seems like it's the complete opposite of what their experiences should have told them, and no one thought, hey, this is not a good idea long term for our product rotation. Why are we doing this? And that's just what has always made me just stop and like, this should not be a thing with this Last Night launch. Yet it is.
I get the impression that there are certain characters that either Hasbro or the studio does not want to spotlight until after the movie has been released. I've been under that impression with a lot of the movies they've movie lines they've done both for Transformers and otherwise. And I have a feeling that maybe had a lot to do with what was in the first wave of the Last Night. The molds that were available that they could reuse from the previous line, and the characters that they wanted to make public before the movie was actually released and Spotlight before the movie was actually released. I may be wrong on that, but that's just an impression I have had over the years of how they plan characters for these lines.
And
you're absolutely right, Rob. Sorry, Brian. You're absolutely right, because they talked about the Studio Series, how there was supposed to be a Bumblebee and another figure from the Bumblebee movie that were going to be earlier in the line that they had to switch to later in the line because the movie's not coming out. So they did talk about that. The other thing that I wanted to ask, does anyone think the distribution problem, or not, the lack of toys, this is the first time Hasbro and Takara have been making and releasing the same toy, the same paint deco, the same everything, so we were assuming that their production run was going to be combined. Do you think in that way is creating a shortage?
Probably not. I mean, they're the same molds and everything. They're probably not the same run, because at that point, how do you, from an accounting standpoint, how do you say? I mean, they could say, yeah, we're going to run 10,000 units and 5,000 are mine and 5,000 are yours, but aligning everything, getting all of the I's dotted and T's crossed to do that, they would probably just do what they're doing now. Which is having separate runs, but they just don't have them decoed. They just don't have new decos on them. They're just running plain Jane versions that are exactly the same as the Hasbro version. So I don't think that's impacting it. But I wanted to go back to something that Don said. Don said, well, why didn't somebody just think about this? So, just to add some color to that, there are people at Hasbro who stay up late at night worrying about things like this. It's not that there aren't people who think about it. There are other pressures in place that make things happen the way they happen. It's not just because somebody doesn't think or doesn't act or doesn't want something to happen. There are people above them make decisions. Other things happen in the supply chain. Paramount makes a decision they don't like, but they have to go with it. Takara makes a decision they don't like. I mean, there are pressures in place that cause dumb things to happen, and it's not because Hasbro has dumb people. It's just because Murphy's Law, and that applies to everybody.
Although, I will point out here, in November or so of 2016, Hasbro had a conference call with the fan websites to talk about the upcoming Age of Extinction assortments. I think it was 2016. And in the process of that, I had the chance to ask, or one of us, I think I asked, somebody did, there's a lot of molds coming in from Age of Extinction, what led to that choice in the line? And the answer they gave was that they had the impression that some of these molds that they were putting back in had been hard to find in Age of Extinction. Now, for context in that, we need to remember that a lot of the decisions for these lines are made months and months in advance of them actually getting to stores. Now, there's cases like Diecast Studio Series example, which I'm glad you brought up, where sometimes they have the opportunity to reshuffle stuff a little bit if something's not aligning exactly how it needs to, or like in a movie case, it's going to spoil something they don't want to spoil at this point. But at the time they made the decision, let's have these molds come back in, there might have been justification to think, okay, people are not finding these, or they're not, penetrating the marketplace quite as much as we'd hoped at this point. Let's go ahead and put some of these back in for the next movie. At the time they did that, it probably made sense, just not so much by the time it came to put it to practice.
Yeah. Isn't it sad to think that Cogman got held back for a wave we never got because they didn't want to spoil a scene they never even bothered to make?
I'm not sad about Cogman being held back.
You're wrong, Jason. I mean, there's just no two ways about it. You're completely wrong.
I mean, the other thing where we are in like 2 months, a month or two from now, because, and I don't often think about this, but Ant brought this up on his TFU news and reviews a couple weeks ago. Back to school, stores will put out toys for back to school. So if we're still not seeing anything in 2 months, and people are taking their kids, then I'm way more with Brian in the idea that Transformers ain't doing it, so they're not really putting a priority on it.
Diecast, you're about to say something. I'll give you the last thought before we move on.
I was just going to say, when we went to HasCon, we asked about distribution of actually the last night figures, and they said, don't worry, they're coming. And there's we never really saw those last two waves, most of us. So
I don't know. That is a line we have heard before in similar circumstances, and it didn't pan out. I mean, I do not doubt
even two Transformers teams ago, we heard that line.
Yeah, I do not doubt for a second that they do everything they can to actually get these toys to us. I'll put it that way.
Yeah, the designers aren't the supply chain people. In a lot of ways, they're powerless too. So this was a big topic of conversation on the Transformers fandom this week, and I'm just going to put this out there. That Imaginarium Art G1 Arcee statue is terrible.
Yes.
For people who don't know about it, it's a highly sexualized, human anatomically designed Arcee statue with underboob.
Yeah.
It's
underboob,
yeah.
I don't really see that.
Look, it's right there.
It's difficult not to.
It's definitely not to. Yeah.
What I see is it looks like she's wearing underwear.
It looks like
exactly.
Yeah.
It looks like she's wearing like underwear or a bathing suit or something quote unquote titillating. I don't know who would find it that way, but it's hideous. And this is not what I want my Transformers to be.
Blade Raider says it's DeviantArt Arcee.
It is DeviantArt Arcee. That is exactly right.
Yeah, I can see that.
I'll agree with that, yeah.
How much does this thing cost, or will this thing cost? And Don, do you like it?
I believe they have two price points. One's like $400 and one's like $1,000.
I'm curious. If anybody out there wants this, tweet at us.
Can you tell me the difference between $400 and $1,000? Like, why is there?
I think it's like a 9-inch. I think it's like a 9-inch statue versus like a 13-inch, something like that.
Dear God. Hey, and real quick, if you're out there and you come across your Walmart or your Target, and you go to toys, snap a photo of what the shelves look like, Transformers wise, and tweet them at us at TF Radio. We'd love to see it.
Yes,
we'll retweet them. But yeah, this Arcee statue, I just wanted to talk about it. I didn't see many people that I read who liked this, but somebody must like it or they wouldn't make it, right?
I guess.
I mean, we have a conversation like this every time we talk about one of these statues. This is just in a slightly different direction.
This is the worst one.
Yes.
The problem is, personally, I am so used to seeing Arcee portrayed in this format, either blatantly like this, or like with Rogue, and when you had some of the released photos from fans' toys that were kind of iffy, to just stuff in the past where this keeps happening to the point where it's like, I think I would be more surprised if it didn't happen. If someone likes this, I have no right to tell them this is wrong.
Right. I would tell them that it's wrong.
She's got the right forearms. I'm just picking something at random. If this was a more normal looking G1 Arcee, I would me of all people would definitely at least be considering it. But this is just so 3D cheesecake. It's a
lamp. Nice.
Yeah, but where would the light come from?
Well, yeah. The problem is, where would you turn it on?
Okay,
but so I just don't like it.
This reminds me of the conversation. The thing blew up the internet this past weekend, which was Thundercats Roar. I have like the opposite opinion though, and thinking about it. So Thundercats Roar, which is the new version of Thundercats that's coming out, Cartoon Network, that a lot of people are bashing because it looks very kiddified. Which, I mean, I don't care about Thundercats like most people. Most people don't care about Thundercats. But a lot of people really cared about the look of this Thundercats cartoon. It's not my thing, but... again, I don't care about Thundercats, and it's just a nice reminder that I don't own Thundercats. Thundercats, we don't own it. So whoever
we don't own any of this.
We don't own any of this. Whoever owns it can do basically with it what they want, and we don't have a lot of control over that. So with this Arcee statue, somebody Hasbro said, sure. Oh, yeah, go ahead. Mm-hmm. And it's officially licensed. I hate it, but I can't tell you that it's wrong. I can just tell you that I personally hate it.
You know what would be cool? If they did a Visionaries cartoon in the style of this new Thundercats or Teen Titans Go.
That'd be great.
That would be great.
You're trying to kill Don, aren't you?
I'd actually watch it then.
Don,
I will say this. I am an old school Thundercats fan. I like the 2000X reboot. The only thing I really have a problem with Thundercats Roar is that they're following suit in the animation style of your Teen Titans Go, your Steven Universe, whatever. That's fine. If they can make the property, get it out there to where people watch it, and it becomes successful, that's fine. But what irks me is it's coming off of a show that I think was very strong that was abandoned by the network. And so now they're picking up another series, but because it's closer to what they like now, which is their thing, this style of theirs. So they can't give some shows decent slot times, promotion, a reason to exist on their own network, and they bring back another show with the same characters in the current fad art style. And unless this thing takes off like gangbusters, like most Cartoon Network shows, and if it doesn't stay a hit like your Steven Universes, like your Gumballs, if it doesn't stay a major hit, they're going to do the exact same thing. It'll be relegated to a 6 a.m. time slot, weekday mornings with no promotion. New episodes will appear without you even knowing about it, and it'll be Cartoon Network like so many other shows.
And a few people will care, just like the last time in 2011.
Well, no, I think a lot. It's just the fact that they're bringing it back, and they're going to, after treating the last incarnation like crap, and it's just the fact that this Cartoon Network, and unless it makes all the money, not just some of the money, all the money in the world and the neighboring dimensions, they're going to relegate it to 5:30 on a Saturday morning or something. It's the same
have
cycle.
To do that to continue doing what they do, though.
Because nobody watched it,
but no, I know. I'm just saying we've seen this over and over and over again, and they're only doing it again because it's not because of they think these characters are popular. It's because this style of animation is popular. This funny, crazy Teen Titans Go stuff is popular. So that's the only reason they're doing it.
Okay.
And when this thing eventually lags, it'll be the same thing all over again.
So
just save that for a done deal.
We still can. And Rob, you were right. I
just do want to say one thing before we move on, if it's okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
I don't have a problem with the animation style. It doesn't look like it's for me. My problem with this whole thing is as because it's the internet, a lot of the conversation around a lot of this wound up going in dumb little circles and lacked any kind of nuance whatsoever.
Yeah.
People have reminded us that Thundercats 2011 actually did get renewed for a second season, but that was revoked because it was too similar to the Lego series Legends of Chima that they wanted to run about the same time. So, and just to, a lot of people were just blanket saying nobody watched it and that's why it was canceled. No, it's more complicated with that because, Don is right. Well, like with Cartoon Network, it always is. I went through a litany on my personal Twitter a few days ago of shows I remembered that they screwed over. From
Megas XLR.
Megas XLR. Rurouni Kenshin, which got the highest ratings the network ever saw, but with adult women, so they canceled it.
Symbionic
Titan, Zeta Gundam. Which that's just totally
that was a huge screw job.
Yeah, that was a screw job that totally ruined Gundam as a toy line in the U.S. So I mean, and most
thanks,
of what
Cartoon Network.
Yeah, thanks. And that most of what I have just mentioned all dates back to before 2005.
Yeah,
this is nothing new. This is how Cartoon Network does business. This is why I kind of don't ever watch Cartoon Network ever anymore. The last time I did was animated.
Which is why when Cartoon Network has a Transformers property, it's not necessarily the best thing. Hey, but I have news that Rob and I were talking about pre-show that I think for most of us it's really good news. Unlike this Thundercats Roar thing, but to most people that's not news at all because it doesn't matter.
Let's change topics.
But so according to this Twitter account, Exhibitor Relations, which is at ERC Box Office, this I don't see any source, but apparently this is a legit news source. They say Transformers 7 is on the scrap heap. Its original release date of June 28, 2019 has been scrapped, which now lists it as unset, meaning that there's not a date set for it. So hey, maybe the Transformers movie series is dead finally.
The comics are, so.
I think we already knew that they had shelved whatever movie they had planned for after Bumblebee. I think we knew that several months ago.
Yeah, but there was still a date set apparently. So apparently this is a very late breaking change with today, where Hasbro's literally said, "Okay, no, we're not doing this on this date."
Yeah, the date was still set, but when they did their graphic of their upcoming films, it wasn't included. So
yeah, but people have been saying, people on Twitter that I follow have still been living with the hope for some reason that the movie series would continue, and I don't understand why.
Stockholm syndrome.
That is Stockholm
Maybe
syndrome.
they were hoping that Bumblebee would do good and it would kind of save the franchise.
Yeah,
I
thought, I agree with that, but I'm not going to cry over it. I mean, I don't think it's going to mean the death of Transformers, but even if it does, it's one of those things where for my enemy to die, I'm willing to die along with it. Kind of like Moriarty and Holmes. So,
yes. So this is your Reichenbach Falls, huh?
That's exactly right.
I want something better for Transformers. I want a public that will accept something better for Transformers, and it's just all, I really think that, for better or worse, I think everything with Transformers is about to change within the next year, because that's pretty much what all the signs are pointing to. The comics, the toy line, the movie series all basically seem to be collapsing, so it's time for something new. Hopefully.
I'm starting to wonder if we're going to, well, when I say we, I mean Diecast, is going to go to Toy Fair next February and be met by a whole new Transformers team.
It'd be interesting, wouldn't it?
Yeah. Would not shock me.
Hey, so let's go ahead and jump to the rest of the news. Don got up and I don't know why.
Anyway, so aside from that Thundercats thing, good conversation for the last 45 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's always editing as well, so hopefully.
I mean seriously, most of that was good.
Yeah. Hey, so we now have photos because it leaked and there's no purple all over it of Power of the Prime's exclusive Wreck-Gar. And I want it.
Yep.
Probably going to be a Walgreens exclusive from
I'll
what
buy
we've
multiples.
learned before.
Well, I can still find clones at my Walgreens here, so that should be fine.
Yeah. I want this too. It's not really Wreck-Gar to me.
Yeah,
the
I
head
agree.
sculpt makes
Okay,
it
I'll be
Wreck-Gar,
honest.
but-
I'll be honest. I kind of want 4. They can't ride each other, but they can, fill out any
Betatron?
combiner.
Is it going to be Betatron?
It could be Betatron or, whatever.
I really love the Generations Wreck-Gar and Junk Keep that we got years ago. And I think those are great toys. But, yeah, I'll allow this. I like it.
Yeah. Gee, thanks.
Yeah.
The one thing that people have been pointing out is that unlike Blastoff and Repugnus, as far as we can tell, this is not going to be like a special edition thing with one of the missing Prime Masters. So that's kind of thing.
And Sean Hamilton in the chat reminds us that Rob Springer told us about this last year.
Yeah.
Yep. Yes, he did.
That's why we know it's a Walgreens exclusive, or believe it's a Walgreens exclusive.
Yeah.
I mean, it was interesting too with those listings that Rob shared with us, because there were a lot of things in there that just had fallen by the wayside, that seemed like they were, going, just never happened. Like laser rods, I think, were in there, new takes on that, and just they're, it just we assumed because this sat so long that it just kind of fallen by the wayside, and then it just popped back up
in Russia.
Yes, in Russia.
Yeah.
Sure, everything gets uncovered.
Yeah.
So,
I do like the weapon it comes with too. Sorry,
That's
wanted to
that's
throw
the
that in
2010 Toys weapon.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's the
Which
revealed shield.
is
gunky
itself
on it.
interesting. Like, that's an interesting thing too, because like it's the groove mold. It's coming with the Power of the Primes combiner hand and a weapon piece from a toy from 8 years ago. That's some serious mix and match going on.
Oh
Yeah.
hey, so the Transformers reissue of Hot Rod has shown up on Walmart.com now, and I don't know that it said this before. The title of the name of the toy on .com is actually Transformers: Vintage G1 Autobot Hot Rod. I didn't notice that before.
Just rolls off the tongue.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
So by looking at it, it has chrome stickers or
Foil stickers,
foil
yeah.
stickers.
Yep.
Yeah.
The
Hopefully
packaging-
better foil stickers than we've seen lately.
Yeah,
Doubt it.
looks nice, and of course, it's mistransformed.
Yay.
Yeah,
Some of the sticker colors
Oh,
also
yeah.
seem to be a little bit different than a vintage
Yeah.
Hot Rod.
Yeah. The I swear the foil they're using is a lot more reflective.
Oh yeah, maybe.
Yeah, I hope it's not that cheap thin foil that we've been seeing on everything, but I got feelings on that.
I mean, I took it off of my Rodimus, but I feel like his stickers were just as... Maybe... you might be right, though. I don't know. Interesting.
so yeah, that's the thing. And we know it.
There, yeah, I mean, this is a thing that Hasbro's done in the past for the. I think I mentioned one of the other stories on this figure for the 35th anniversary of the original 1/6 scale GI Joe. They did release vintage style figures reproductions in vintage packaging to Walmart, among other places, and unfortunately not much else. Which, boy, does that look like where we're heading? But but yeah, the interesting thing is that. One of the things we saw about this, I think it was the listing at Kapow Toys, said this was the first in a series. I don't know if the Walmart listing says the same thing.
I didn't notice.
I didn't see any language to that effect. I was actually looking to see if there's any indication of like a series number or something.
So
Okay.
likelihood, just assuming because it's cheaper, they're going to use things that we already know that molds exist for.
Yeah.
So they're not going to
Yeah.
new toolings probably.
Yeah, but I mean that means Hot Rod, the whole range of the Seekers,
God.
several of the Autobot cars.
Optimus probably next. There's no way they're not going to do Optimus Prime.
The only way they wouldn't do Optimus Prime is if they want to keep the price point under $50.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think he would really be over $50.
$70.
$70.
Yeah, absolutely.
It'd be like
Yeah,
$70 at
shouldn't
least. Yeah.
be.
Okay, so the Robot Kingdom price for this Hot Rod reissue is about $35,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
and that's G1 Hot Rod, one of the
Yeah.
simplest Transformers that
Yeah.
existed.
Simplest and late, probably one of the simplest and
very few
latest
parts,
Autobot
not a whole
cars.
lot of material.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm trying to think what he was when I bought him
last-
from Toys R Us. He probably
$10
was
bucks.
20 or 25.
Commemorative series was $50.
Oh, I thought you
believe.
meant. I thought you meant originally when it came out. It was like 10
No,
or 20 bucks.
the Hot Rod, the commemorative series. I think he was 20 or 25.
Yeah, that was about what, 15 years ago though?
Maybe.
Ultra Magnus was
Yeah.
like $50. So that's
Yeah, I
probably
would
right.
hope-
I'd gotten
Magnus
that
were the
Power
same.
Master Prime.
Optimus and Ultra Magnus were the same price, and the Apex Armor Optimus Prime, I think, also was put in at that $50 price point.
That's not a bad price at all.
But you got to
No, and
remember
then it
it
went
was,
on clearance.
it was Toys R Us, so the prices were always a little inflated
Yeah.
even back then.
Well, I mean, they seemed that way, but I mean, Toys R Us wasn't as bad about that at that point in their history. And also, the production of these G1 molds is very different from what was its contemporary counterparts. So, I mean, there was kind of a reason for some of the added price to it besides just trying to milk the collector market a little bit more.
Yeah.
And remember, if you want this and you see it, grab it.
Yes.
'Cause you might
Yeah, you
never
won't
get another
see it
chance.
If you
Yeah.
need another G1 Hot Rod, of course, this time with foil stickers. I mean-
Well, if you want a representation of G1 Hot Rod, you could also go to Ollie's right now if you have one and get one for like $6.
That's true.
I'm trying to remember here real quick. The last reissue of Optimus Prime, I think it was like for the 30th anniversary.
Yeah, that
Wasn't
Walmart one.
Yeah, wasn't that like $100?
It wasn't. I don't think it was 100, but it was
No.
probably 70.
Wasn't it
It was
Target?
kind of high.
and it had a speaker. It had that little Autobot speaker.
I don't think
saw that at Walmart.
I got mine on eBay and I paid $40 for it.
Yeah, it was definitely
a
more
reason
than
for
that in
that.
stores.
Yeah, I think it was like $75.
Yeah.
Yeah, which I mean, voice chips are not super expensive, so I kind of get the feeling that was a thing to, add a little bit of value to, offset how much it costs to reproduce the toy.
Yeah.
If we go along with what's going here, what will offset the value of or offset the cost of reproducing the toy will be the vintage packaging this time.
Yeah, and Optimus has more
that to sting.
Yeah, Optimus has more die-cast metal in him than Hot Rod does. Hot Rod is plastic, so. Hey, so we have photos of Predaking in hand, new photos. He's not as...
I still don't like it.
I don't hate it. He is more svelte, I guess, than I would prefer. But it doesn't look bad.
And those
I can't wait to pick him up at Ollie's next year.
Yeah.
If I run into one of those at Ollie's, I might, maybe.
Yeah.
Man, you know what? I think even at $50, this would be a hard sell for me. Of
Kinda,
course,
yeah.
okay, so Fortress Maximus
That's come himself.
showed up at Ollie's for $35 when they had it.
35
40, right?
Yeah, I think it's 40.
And now Trypticon's 50. So if Predaking makes it that far next year, that'll certainly be like 75 instead of
not doing
super
it.
discount.
60. Let's say 60 because they do sell out pretty quick.
So I'll say this. I wouldn't take Ollie's pricing structure and try to graph it linearly because
it all depends too on what they have to pay to get that inventory
and how badly the people who have it want to liquidate it.
Yeah, and from what I saw, everybody wanted to liquidate Fortress Maximus.
Yeah.
Trypticon didn't really have as much of a problem with that. Toys R Us, in my observation, sat on Fortress Maximus's far longer than they did Trypticon inventory.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I don't know that this Predaking though. I don't know. I want to pay $150 for it. There's just no way.
That's why I'm waiting for Ollie's.
Pay $250 for the Takara one, which will be identical.
I will wait for this to go on sale at Amazon. Which if
TFRadio.net/Amazon.
Yeah, if Trypticon and Fort Max were any indication, we got those on Amazon for about $100 at one point.
At one
point. Yeah, you just gotta do your vigilance on that if you want to hit an Amazon deal.
I could update the TFRadio.net/Predaking link if I wanted to, but it still goes to the G1 Encore toy.
I don't
$100
mind that anymore. Just go to the...
Yeah.
I'd rather get the G1 version if I was going to buy a Predaking.
Yeah,
I was about to say, if I was going to spend $100 on a Predaking, it would be that one at this point.
Yeah. Or when the real one comes out, I might actually go back and look at one of the cheaper third-party options. Because, in North Carolina, me and Don and Matt saw, I think it was the Unique Toys one in that little shop in the hole in the ground for $150, and that looked good.
Yeah, that was a Rebel Outpost.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's why it was in a hole in the ground, so that the Empire couldn't find it.
Jason says in the chat, the link should be tfradio.net/ I guess I'll buy this. Nice. Okay, so, but we have that. What else do we have? Oh, yeah, pre-orders went up at, was it Robot Kingdom? No, it was a Canadian retailer.
Canadian Tire? That's the only Canadian retailer that's still in business that I know the name of off the top of my head now.
This is true.
Northman Collectibles.
Zellers doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah, well, I've never heard of that. I've never heard of them, but they have it up for pre-order. Let's see here. Okay, so Prime Masters Wave 3 have been spotted in the Philippines, of course. They get stuff before we do because of geography. Yeah.
Yep.
Now, this is what worries me.
Go ahead, Don.
Well, I'll say that's because they can see Vietnam from their house, and so
Okay, never mind, Don. Diecast, go ahead.
This is what worries me about Wave 2. If we're already seeing Wave 3 in the Philippines,
yeah.
Yep. What did they did they just like not?
Yeah, apparently
produce enough
Masters
of
Wave 2 was a Kroger exclusive in the United States.
That's funny.
I'm just this is why there's continuing things that worry me about.
Yeah, this is why
Wave
we
2.
have increasing doubts.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yep.
I said it before you got here, Chris. I am really happy I did not have you pick me up Ripper Snapper when you got me the Wave 2 Deluxes.
Because that's the only one you can find?
Because it's the only one I would probably ever own if I got it, and that would drive me insane.
Yeah, I may end up being... Well, I've got Hunger, too, but I may be in the same boat, ultimately. We'll see.
So, the Bumblebee movie comic adaptation from...
Or prequel.
Yeah, a prequel from Penguin Random House. It's not from IDW, but it's written, it's by John Barber.
Penguin Random House is a distributor for IDW now.
Okay, interesting. So yeah, John Barber wrote it, and Andrew Griffith did the art. I liked that cover.
Sold.
Yeah.
Yeah, the cover is Sarah Peter Durocher, incidentally.
Yeah.
Yep. 3 great creators. I'm in.
Yeah.
So it's a prequel to the prequel.
Yep.
Yeah, so this is like a 50s or 60s spy looking.
Yeah, this is
theme.
this is a solicitation for the collected version of the miniseries that's coming out sometime later this year.
I
October?
might actually have to check that out. Cool. So October, you said?
Maybe.
That would make sense. Hey, so
Yeah.
so in the show notes, somebody wrote Transformers: Power of the Primes, episode 3.
No!
Why?
No!
Why?
I did.
Why?
Aren't we up to episode 4
It's
now
episode
anyway?
4 now. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
so-
is it?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
episode 4 came out yesterday, and I stopped with episode 2.
I
so.
stopped with episode 1. So
I think
I stopped-
maybe I watch. I think I watched the last episode that came out yesterday. God, everything's pointing to Unicron. Everything's pointing. I mean,
You mean like the poster?
like the poster and like the opening and
And the promotional videos they've been releasing?
the promotional video and they're all toys. Like they're using all toys in the thing. Where's my Unicron? That's all I want to know. This
In the
series-
alternate dimension where
Dakash,
Power of the
you
Primes
need-
was a full 6-wave toy line.
Yeah.
You know, flashing back
Hey,
to our
Dakash,
distribution
you need-
conversation before... Hang on, Don. Flashing back to our distribution conversation before, you know, they're spotlighting Optimus Primal in the cartoon here, and we'll probably never actually see one at retail in this country.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Don.
Dakash, you're obsessing about this. You need to let it go. You
Like,
know,
no,
it's
no,
coming
they're-
from me.
They're putting it in my face. They're saying, "Look, we're talking
They're
about
teabagging you with
Unicron." Yeah, yeah. It's a.
When are you going
big
to change your
case.
Twitter name to Unicron Diecast?
that's actually not bad.
And I can admit that I want Rodimus Unicronus now because of the Machinima series Power of the Primes. I just want to have the little
They're
black
insane.
Rodimus figure, and I can't find it anywhere, of course.
Yeah, good
'cause-
luck.
Yeah,
You missed your
But
window
Nobody got
on
one
that
for $30.
that this series made me want that toy. So if they actually
But you
show
get on
Unicron
Amazon.
in his full form, I'm gonna. I don't even know what I'm gonna do.
You can get Rodimus Unicron
sorry.
on Amazon.
Yeah.
It's
Well, I
like
mean-
$70.
I think Don has
But you can
lag.
get it.
No, I'm just going to say that. I mean, really, if they don't do a Unicron, is the Armada one that so aged out of usefulness?
Yes.
I mean, is it really? Is it really that?
Yeah.
I mean,
I wouldn't want to see it
This
released
big.
again, but like it's a perfectly valid toy that already exists.
I need a Titan
so-
size figure of Unicron.
Well, okay, so like the Titans have been gradually reducing in, height and mass a little bit every time. So by the time they would get around to a Titan class Unicron, it probably would be about the size of the Armada one. Because that
Or
was a
deluxe
big
figure.
Supreme toy.
You're trying to make me upset, aren't you?
I'm always trying to make you upset, but I'm also actually fairly serious here. If assuming Unicron would take, say, until 2020, for example, by that point it probably would end up being about the same size as the one that already exists.
Yeah. Hey, you know what?
unless they go through HasLabs.
Don's got
to
lag.
Get the bigger figure.
So Don's internet is coming over a clothesline right now, I think. So
He used up his 5 gigabytes.
yeah. So hey, guess what? tfradio.net/Amazon. Any purchase that you make helps us out, helps pay for the show. and we could really use your help. tfradio.net/Amazon if you want to buy a TV or a grand piano or a car or toothpaste or deodorant. Anything. Or a bidet. Such a great thing.
Oh.
tfradio.net/Amazon. They have Transformers up there. If you want to get Studio Series stuff, what is it? tfradio.net/studio. And
Blackout was in stock the last time I looked.
Yeah.
At retail, SRP.
Yeah. They don't have Power of the Primes Wave 2, though.
No. But they have Grimlock. If you want Grimlock. I still haven't picked that up. I need to do that. But just remember, if you're going to make a purchase from Amazon, anything, just go to tfradio.net/Amazon. And better yet, actually, at that point, just bookmark it. That would be phenomenal. Thank you very much. Hey, Rob, what's on the network this week? Rob, what's on TFormers this week?
Okay, we've got some Transformers digital stickers and trading cards for iOS and Android. I know nothing about that at all. Interesting designs.
That went up this afternoon and neither of us got a chance to look at it.
Yeah, so we've also got an image from what I'm assuming is Predaking's box of the missing Prime Masters, and is it me or do they look like renders as opposed to actual toys?
They are. But what this proves is that they did design CAD assets for the emblem pieces for all of them at least. So theoretically, these could be made and turned up somewhere at some point.
Yep.
Maybe.
Maybe we could get a nice SDCC box set of all the Prime Masters together.
Ooh.
Or we could get something I could actually obtain.
Well, that.
Yeah. Well, if they send them to you to review.
Mm-hmm. Let's see. Yeah. Chris wrote a really nice article on what kind of accessories we could expect from MP43 Beast Wars Megatron.
Think rubber ducky.
Yes. I kind of expect that would be like the little diecast bonus that for Asian markets, like the bananas for Optimus Prime.
Yes, because that would be the perfect way to miss the point of a rubber ducky would be to make it out of zinc.
Exactly. and
no, the Hasbro Asia diecast exclusive should just be like a metal version of the alien disc.
Well, yeah.
Can I be the diecast exclusive?
No.
Well, sometimes we want to exclude diecast. It's just natural.
No, exclusive, not excluded.
Well, I'm just going to the root word here. I can't help the language. It's just there. But no, and lastly, we have, speaking of diecast, I don't suppose you bought any Studio Series stuff from Taobao on May the 15th.
May the 15th be with you, though.
No, I did not. Why, was there lucky draw stuff I could have got?
Yeah, if you bought from Hasbro's official Chinese store on Taobao on May the 15th, you could have been entered into a drawing for one of 88 camo leader class blackouts or 300 rusty bumblebees.
Nice.
Oh, rusty bumblebee. That sounds fun.
Oh, yeah. The blackout actually, I think, looks pretty decent. But
yeah.
I'll go for the rusty bumblebee, thank you.
Yeah, the flaws in the toy.
Diecast, you can't afford a rusty bumblebee.
Well, it's the big guy and Rusty. That's a good combination.
Yeah, nice. Cool. So Don, what's on the network this week?
What's on the network this week? It's a Don Deal, episode number 1. On his first official episode, it's a Don Deal. We have questions about War for Cybertron rumors, the future of Titan class figures, Power Rangers in the Hasbro universe, and more. Plus, we have buy or sell, Don's, or me, actually, leaving money on the table, and more. RPG Lessons Learned, episode 55. How does this end? This week on RPG Lessons Learned, Dusty, Brian, and Mike try to figure out how this will all end.
In fire.
In fire, yeah. Meaning, does the game that we play, do we eventually ever stop? Which you can apply that to anything.
I was just channeling my inner Kosh.
Yes. Nice. Diecast, did you have any reviews up this week at Arcee Reviews?
No, I had inventory at my other job, so I worked all weekend.
Okay, but you got paid. That's awesome.
But yeah, if you call it that.
Hey, so you can find this episode at tfradio.net/572, view all the show notes, which is pretty awesome. We read a text earlier in the show. You can send texts or leave voicemail at 931-99-GO-BOT. That's 931-994-6268. And if you are hanging around on the live stream, we'll have It's a Don Deal coming up in a few minutes. And you can use that number to call in. We'll let you know. You can find us on Twitter at TF Radio, on Facebook at facebook.com/TF Radio, and on Instagram at TF Podcast. Rob Springer's at zonebase.org and at RoboRobSpringer. Jason, how do people get a hold of you?
You can find me on Twitter at JasonKirk. Also, please go to everlastingminute.com and want to say hi to Counterpunch. Thanks for the kind words and thanks for listening.
Nice. Don.
I can be reached on Twitter at HMRC4EVR, or I can be reached on our call-in line in just a few minutes for It's a Don Deal.
Awesome. Chris.
Nice. If you know what's good for you, you won't reach me.
Okay. Diecast.
You can reach me on Twitter at Diecast2. Hashtag #GetUnicron because so many things point to Unicron.
Nice.
And then also on TFormer or TF Radio. I'm getting confused. TFRadio.net/reviews and YouTube.com/RFC reviews and Facebook at Reviews by Diecast.
Cool. John.
That John D everywhere.
And Rob.
I'm on Twitter at Figure Reviewers and Flailthroughs. Also on YouTube at Flailthroughs and Patreon at patreon.com/Flailthroughs. I actually have a donation tier now, finally. You can request to see a specific character or mobile suit or what have you in a game I am playing on the channel for a $2 pledge.
Cool. Awesome. Well, that's it. We'll see you next week. Bye.
Bye, everyone.
I got an orange rec car right here.
I ain't it.
I'll do the intro, and Brian, you give me the.
Okay.
Give me the.
So go ahead, Don.
And we'll go from there. It's that time again. Time to wax your car. Time to play the piano. No, it's time for It's a Don Deal here on Radio Free Cybertron. I'm your host, Headmaster Don, and now here's my producer, Brian Kilby.
Hi there, Don. Listeners can call us at 931-99-GO-BOT. That's 931-994-6268. If you are watching the live stream right now, mute before you call. And when you hear us on the other end of the line, you're the next caller. Wait for me to ask you for your name and what in the heck you want to talk about. You can also tweet at us at TF Radio, and hopefully we'll catch it during the show, or you can mention it in our chat if you're watching live at tfradio.net/live. You can share your thought about the news, what we talked about on this week's RFC. If you're looking to buy something, I guess, which was the original idea for the show, but who knows, the floor is yours. You know, talk about that Arcee statue, or Thundercats Roar, or whatever else. Give us a call, 931-994-6268. Don, back to you.
Alrighty, well, I will start something with the Donologue. With the loss of Toys R Us, people are going to be going to other stores they normally wouldn't go to. Like, for example, Ross, Marshalls, and TJ Maxx is a trio of stores that are known to get Transformers from time to time. Now, in the off season, they are very sporadic, but I have found a Titans Return Optimus Prime, the first one with Diac. I've seen Astro Train. I've seen Octane at 1. I've seen a report of Blitzwing found at 1. So I think that it'd be interesting to see what turns up at these discount retailers over the next couple of months as the Toys R Us stock is being liquidated. Because I would have to imagine stores like Ollie's and these other stores are looking at this as potential to get a lot of product into their stores. So, your Power Ranger Legacy items, maybe your Barbie stuff, not just at Christmas, although I think we'll see a lot of this stuff for the holidays. All the plans being made up for that. So I'm just thinking it'll be interesting to see how these discount retailers that are known mostly for their holiday selections step up and might start taking a lot of this overstock that was planned for Toys R Us, as far as being a viable alternative and not just November, December, and January. That's just kind of my thoughts on it, because I found a lot of good stuff at these stores, but again, you have to check every couple of days or it could come and go.
Cool. Hey, Don, we have a caller on the line. Caller, what's your name? And what are you calling about? You're on the air.
Hello.
Okay, looks like they hung up.
Okay. Is there a certain time when are we going to do the stuff we're looking to buy? Because I definitely need help finding something when we...
What do you want? What are you looking for?
I need Rodimus Unicronus. If anyone has an extra or knows of a store that has one, or, I don't want to pay above retail for it, pretty much.
Cool. Hey, caller, you're on the line. What's your name? What are you calling about? Hello?
Brian, is your setup broken?
Hey, we hear you. You there?
Hello?
Hey, can you hear us? Hello?
We can hear you.
Yeah, well, maybe it's one of those days. So...
Well, at least it's not Garrett.
Yeah. And that's what the edit's for. Go ahead. So you're looking for your Rodimus Unicronus.
Yeah, I'm looking for the Rodimus Unicronus, because I know they were clearanced out at some Walmart, so maybe someone picked up an extra one or something and can hook a brother up.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, let me ask you this, Diecast. Have you got anything you're looking to maybe trade for? Anything that you would, again, people are out there looking for stuff. Have you got anything that you'd be willing to trade for it?
I have this oversized Legends Megatron that I could easily use as a trade. It's pretty terrible, but if you want a very large, oversized Legends Megatron, we could factor that in. That's no problem.
Okay, so we have another caller on the air. Caller, what's your name, or what are you calling about?
It's me, Ernest.
Hey, Ernest.
Hey, Ernest.
It's just a random idea I had, but what would Don think of new Action Masters, but based on like Nightbird and Autobot X of characters that can't transform?
Now, I'll be honest. I like this idea.
Yeah,
and
me too.
I'm not a big Action Master person, but if you look at the quality that an action figure has undergone, the quality changes from the initial offering of Action Masters to now. And we've seen what even 3D printing can do with these Goliath figures, the Max Steel Robo Force series. And this is just basic 3D printing, can give us some really good non-transforming action figures. I know they can do Transformers, but it's a lot more complicated on all the parts counts and stuff. But I would like to see I guess basically it's a new version of the Mega, what was that, the Mega SFC line that Takara did a couple years ago. SCF, thank you. I didn't buy any of those, but I think especially with you've got these $300 drift non-transforming statues, well non-transforming figures I should say, they're not statues. A high quality, well done Action Master representation could now do well, because at the time your Action Masters were their Transformers that don't transform. It just didn't fit the market at the time. It didn't fit the mindset. Yeah. But now we're used to getting these higher end figures that don't transform, or it's not this strange aberration that it was back in the day. So I think a well done line of Action Master style figures like Marvel Legends, like Star Wars Black Series, could now do well, especially in a collector's market where you would get these Nightbird, like say a 2-pack with Nightbird and Arcee. Say just make a 2-pack of them. Autobot X and say Lord, say put like I think Lord Chumley used a robot in Prime Target or something like that. Just something like that. But I think it could well be done pretty well this time, and it not be this it's not as weird now as it used to be.
Yeah. Cool. Thanks for the call, Ernest. That was great. So, Don, when you mentioned the Mega SCF figures, they're terrible. They are not good action figures. Now, the Revoltech figures were much better action figures, but they had terrible designs. The SCF figures had great designs, but they were terrible figures. So if we could get something that is sort of a mix of both, that would be great. So we have another caller on the line. Caller, what's your name and what are you calling about?
I'm Dinobot Maximize.
Hey, Dinobot Maximize, how are you doing?
Hey. Doing great, guys. I wanted to mention first to Diecast, man, I have a Run Machine of Cronus. If you're interested, all you got to do is check out my YouTube channel, man. But
okay.
I want to mention one thing on the transform. You just give me the Thundercats Roar.
Yeah.
I am very disappointed with that.
Why?
Man, I actually liked the reboot that they did a few years ago. I thought it was pretty good. It and the He-Man I thought were awesome for its time because they did do a lot of improvements. I mean, the stories were really good. It just hit the time frame, I think, is what made them suck at that. But I'm also with Don on the Action Masters. I really would love to see a new line of those come out. But I also would like to see some good classic Pretenders or regular Pretender shells come out for all of our good Transformers from the old days.
Yeah. It's, to sort of expand. Okay, I'm getting some feedback.
It should be gone now, Don.
Okay, all right. That's actually a really, yeah, thank you, Dinobot Maximize. That's a good thing. I'm going to expand on my last thing because with what you said, you just gave me this idea. If third parties could do a way to make Pretender shells that did not run into the same problem that Fans Project did with their Monstructors, with their Dino King shells. If they could find a way, can you imagine a line of affordable Pretender shells to match current toy offerings? Like, let's just say Misfire from Titans Return. You can make your Titans Return. You can make any figure you wanted a Pretender if they made a shell that it could fit into.
Wow, they could sell dozens of those.
I'm just saying, it's something different. Again, it's just expanding on. You can make any character you wanted a Pretender if they can make the shell for it. It's again, the logistics are probably out there, but that way you can instead of just getting the same core 6 or 12 Pretenders plus your Beast, then you got your Mega Pretenders and all that.
Actually, Don,
it could again. I
love your idea. So I want to ask our next caller a question. So, caller, would you be able to make a Don Pretender shell, or at least design one? You're on the air.
Can I make one?
Yes, or could you design one?
I could design one, I'm sure.
Tell us your name.
Sean.
I knew that, but which is why I asked you the question. I've got caller ID. We really want one of these now. So can a Dawn of the Day in the next couple of days be a Dawn Pretender?
I think I've done one early
Did you?
on. Like the early ones, you probably have it in your folder.
Oh yeah, let me grab the folder. It's still over here.
If it wasn't in that, it was shortly thereafter. But I've done something Pretender.
No, the folder's over there. I can't grab it. Sorry. Hey, Sean, okay. You got a question or comment?
Yeah, I got a non-Transformers question.
Okay.
I've recently gotten into these Mega Block or Mega Constructs He-Man figures. I've never collected He-Man figures before, and I cannot stand Creo, and I'm trying to figure out what in the world it is about these things that attracts me so much. They're not like Legos, they're not like crayons, but they are totally awesome. And I know Chris collects them, and I like the Star Trek, but I'm trying to verbalize what it is about these Mega Constructs that are just different than everything else and why they're so much better.
Creativity.
I was wondering what your opinions were.
Thanks, Sean.
Well, I'll be honest. I've only bought one, and that was because someone else was trying to find that figure, so I was trying to help them out. I really haven't looked at them that much, to be honest. But I think for the price, you're getting a pretty decent little action figure. Plus, you're not dropping, He-Man Classics money per figure. Which is kind of nice. Plus, you're going to have people like there's a Wind Raider coming out soon as an exclusive, I think, through Entertainment Earth for that scale He-Man figures. So personally, there's nothing that they've made yet that I really want, because I'm just not a big He-Man fan. I like Star Trek, but I really don't want any of the figures. Unless they do a Q figure or something, I might pick that up just for fun.
Oh, I want that.
But yeah, I like Q in his robes. That would be kind of cool to have that. But I like them, and for the money, it's a nice little desk figure that you're not putting a lot of money into, and you'll be seeing more accessories. I think we'll eventually be seeing maybe little play sets that these things can work around at some point. Maybe even SDCC exclusives where you've got like a bridge crew and a small little diorama with the Enterprise D bridge. So I think they're great little figures. It's just nothing has really tripped my trigger yet. But be interested to see where this scale goes.
Well, Don, on that note, let's jump into a buy or sell based on that. Buy or sell, Mega Bloks minifigures are the future of action figures.
I think I think that's going to be a buy, because with the success that we're seeing in these figures and people now doing accessories like that Wind Raider I just mentioned, a lot more people is going to jump onto this bandwagon. Plus what we've talked about in the past with what Brian has said, John has mentioned it, Aaron Archer has said it before, this making toys from oil is not sustainable forever. And this right here, basically what we're looking at is we're looking at the MicroMaster process for the toy industry. We'll be seeing a downscaling, but with the new technology, it won't be that much of a loss of articulation, which is one of the most important things a lot of people, in recent years have just said, we want well-articulated figures. People my age growing up, we had elbows and we were happy with it. So, there's a dichotomy based on when you got started collecting. But yeah, I think we're going to see a lot more of these lines. I don't think you're going to see these lines being supplanted by this new small scale, but you're going to see this small scale stuff being more of its own thing, like for a more budget-minded collector. And then you'll still have your regular lines going forward.
Cool. I just want to see Mega Bloks do all the everything in this scale and design level, because these are really great little action figures. I love them a lot.
Now again, if they did like a New Adventures He-Man, I'd buy that just for the sheer weirdness of it. Or like I said, Q in the judge's robes, or things like that. I would cherry pick it like I do Marvel Legends, but I'd be interested to see where it goes from here.
If Q is in judge's robes, I'd either want it to be the first figure or the last figure, or both.
Well, I mean that could also be you could do maybe Q in his judge's robes from Encounter at Farpoint with Season 1 Picard.
And All Good Things. Don't forget All Good Things.
Yeah. But I was thinking more Encounter at Farpoint that way,
with
because
Michael Bell.
You still have plenty of
Michael Bell's on Encounter at Farpoint.
That's right. Yeah, I forgot about that.
Zorn.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, and again, they're smaller figures, smaller sets. So I think, over the years we might even see more of these as San Diego exclusives or New York Toy Fair exclusives, or more stuff in the blind bags as gift bags at these trade shows.
What I want to see is a Mega Bloks Commander Riker as he appeared in the Enterprise finale. These are the Voyages.
Bloated?
Yes.
Well, no. A Riker would have to come with a Riker, a trombone, and a chair for him to straddle. That'd be the ultimate Riker set.
What other buy or sells do we have? Who's the official reader of the buy or sells?
I got one.
Okay.
I'll jump in. Hey, buy or sell, Don. The curved Armada boxes were a literal natural disaster foisted upon all of us.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember those exactly because it was Armada, so I mostly
They were
dumped all that.
love. They were the best thing ever.
Are you serious?
I love the Armada boxes so much.
We need a new producer, Stat. Wait, what? Brian,
I'll do it.
I love them.
What? Are you serious?
Yeah.
You're not being ironic.
No, I love them. I love Armada so much. I love the design of them. Yeah, I mean, it made them hard to stack and stuff, but they were so nice looking.
And display like at the store.
Yeah.
And like not have them just naturally kind of implode upon themselves.
I'm trying to think if I still have any that are still sealed. I don't think that I do. But I don't remember. I had one recently, and I don't remember it being, like, imploded.
They're horrendous. This is a fact. Don, next one. Buy or sell. Titans Returns actually has the most, not offensive, but the worst robot art for packaging in the history of Transformers. The disembodied head of, Fortress Maximus, I guess. A little off-putting. Anything other, and this doesn't count Beast Machine's Cheetor's mug as like the face of Transformers for a year.
Well, I mean, I really didn't have a problem with that because it just told you this figure became a head for the small figures, and then the bigger figures it showed the interaction between the small figure and the main robot. So it was a little odd, but it actually got the point across. I will say that Power of the Prime's artwork is much better because it's a more cohesive look as far as because you don't have the whole disembodied head kind of thing, but you're also that's not really the gimmick anymore, So, I think Power of the Primes is a lot better artwork, but I don't really have anything wrong with what happened with Titans Return.
You know what was really terrible package art? The Transformers Universe 2008 card art. Those robots were just really off-putting looking.
I'm trying to remember what was an example of one.
Prowl, Ironhide,
yes,
Sunstreaker.
No, you're right.
Basically everything that had character art in that line.
They were lifeless, right?
Yeah. Pretty much, lifeless, over-detailed. It's like someone tried to put the G1 character faces through a movie filter.
Yes, you're right.
Looked like the toy design at the time.
Now, I will say one thing. I'd like and a similar thing. I love the fishbowl look for alternators because you got to see more of the car in vehicle mode, so you could check for paint blemishes or any scratches or damages or things like that. So you could, and it made for a nicer display if you didn't want to open it. But the like those curved Armada boxes, you could not display them that well because of the shape. But I will say, I think that was a great looking box design, if not very practical.
John, that's a great comment. Why don't you share it?
I just miss alt modes as the packaged mode. It's pretty boring now, frankly, kind of just to see the robots lined up on the pegs when there are robots on the pegs.
Yeah, I mean, like, originally when they were packaged in vehicle mode, when you would get it, and, it's a mold that you handled for the first time, there was always that, like, sense of, maybe not mystery exactly, but a little bit of wonder as you transformed it for the first time to, had that first reveal of its robot mode. Now it's just like, oh, well, there's what it looks like. Now, how do I cram this into a car shell?
Yeah, that was always the magic of, like, just the idea of, like, oh, one of these cars driving down the road, there's a robot inside it. Like, that's the mystery. Instead of, like, oh, there's the robot, and,
Well,
although with Tesla these days, that's true again.
Yeah.
So,
but you lose the whole in disguise part. That's why so many reviewers start in the alt mode and then go to the robot mode so you can see how it unfolds. Even if you've only seen a picture of the figure, seeing how it unfolds is part of the fun. But when you're packaged in robot mode, you know what you're buying, but you also know what you're getting. So it's like,
So, John, your comment earlier about the Armada curved boxes is making me look on eBay to buy one. I'd like to buy a Megatron since that's basically one of my top 3 favorite figures ever. I love that toy so much.
Sure,
but
worth it.
I like the cheapest one I see is $50, and I don't need another one. I really love Scavenger as well, and I see one for like $25. I might pick up Scavenger just to have it mint and sealed box, just so I can let you know, like, if I hate it or not.
Do you see pricing for Armada Galvatron? Because that'd be like
$50.
You know, fairly pretty to have in a box.
Oh,
$50 right now with $15 shipping. It's the first one I saw.
but XV's right though. He is mighty handsome for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's also I'm sorry, Brian.
No, go ahead.
Go
No, this is actually, I thought this was Galvatron. It's there's a glare on the Starscream box, and it looked like Galvatron because of the glare with the pylon things on it.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
that is so awesome.
That's a really interesting misread there.
Yeah,
love it.
But I was going to say, as far as like, you know, this is Energon, but Energon Galvatron is such a beautiful figure. That's one of the few Energon toys. I mean, I sold my Wing Saber. I sold my Wing Saber a while back, but I'm keeping my box Galvatron because that Megatron mold in white in that box is just so plain and blah and just meh. But that mold in those Galvatron colors in that box, it just works on every single level. And you know, I think that's important, that you got to get the right paint on the right mold and in the right packaging. That makes these things, like we've seen in these books, the G1 book that shows off the artwork of the packaging. That's what makes these things, in a way, art.
Hey, Jason, did we have a question from the chat earlier?
Yeah, we've got questions. We got buys and sells. Which would you like to have?
I'll go with the question first and go to the buy and sell.
Sure. All right. So, Jared Hebert, what are your expectations and hopes for War for Cybertron in 2019? I would just like it to be on shelves, but we'll see what Don says.
Yeah. I hope they do a little more, I guess, a retelling of the G1 story, but from different points of view. Like we see it from the Autobot point of view. We see that from the Decepticon point of view. We use this as an opportunity to make it more nuanced and also more detail on how we got to, assuming the show will eventually end with the launch of the Ark. And again, that's just in my head where the show should end, because it's the War for Cybertron. But when they launched the Ark, the war pretty much ended, except for these small scale skirmishes like Elita 1 with her troops and such. Because, you know, everybody was on Earth taking a dirt nap, literally. So I hope that we see, I guess what I'm wanting to see is more of an Exo Squad kind of feel for War for Cybertron, where we get all these different viewpoints and stuff to flesh out what's going on behind the scenes leading up to More Than Meets the Eye Episode 1. That's what I'm hoping that we see.
Okay, well, quick follow-up to that, because someone else actually asked the question. Catmax Gaming asked, I recently acquired a single Exo Squad toy. Is the toy line good enough to keep going and get more, or should I just tap out? Okay. Okay,
I'll say this. Personally, if you're going to get any of the Exo Squad toys, get the Exo frames. All of Abel's Squad, the Neo Sapiens frames as well. You could probably skip some of the non-show frames, like the Fire Rescue frame and a few of those. Not just because they're not good, they are, but some of these auxiliary frames are kind of pricey because they weren't made in quantities compared to the regular show Exo frames. So that way you could afford to get a few more figures. You'd also probably, I personally didn't care for like the jets, like Kaz Takagi had an Exo frame jet that really, to me, wasn't that great. It looked pretty, but it took up a lot of retail space for display, and just didn't really do much for me. Marcella's Exo frame is kind of a necessity. So between those two, save the money and get the one with Marcella because he's much more important to the story than Takagi, I think. But yeah, I would definitely make Exo Squad one of those series that if you're going to collect, cherry pick the ones you want the best because of the prices involved. Some of these frames do run a little expensive, but definitely try to get a few more just to pan out your collection.
I'm going to agree with basically everything Don said and just add that Exo Squad was one of those toy lines like the Star Trek The Next Generation line, which came at this weird point in the 90s when Playmates was making these spectacular toy lines that were so much ahead of their time for what they were. It's definitely something to go back and pick up.
Yeah, I mean, I've even tweeted this to Playmates, and I have begged them to please reissue. Don't change a thing. Keep the packaging. Keep the again. We're looking at a lot more money per frame at this point with the amount of parts in these things. These things are massive part count figures. But I think if you paid, well, Chris, what do you think? 39. If you got JT Marsh's original frame in like a nice collector's packaging.
As a reissue thing now, I think I'd be at $25 on the basic size E-frames.
Yeah, so there's that. So I would love to see this stuff. Now, towards the end of the line, when they started adding the Robotech stuff into it, that got a little weird. But I mean, you could even get a few of the harder to get Robotech pieces in the Exo Squad line. It's a very long story.
I'm sure Harmony Gold would be all over that.
Yeah, that was a weird thing for them to do. But yeah, I would say yes. Cherry pick the line due to the prices involved, but at least get you a couple more just to fill out your collection.
Also, do your diligence because these came with a lot of small parts. So shop around and get as complete as you can.
Well, Chris, have you seen like a Exo Squad wiki like TF Info does? Have you seen?
I have not, but I also haven't gone looking for it. So
okay.
Hey, Jason, any other questions or any other buys or sells?
Give you one more buyers.
Before we go to Don's leaving money on the table.
Sure. I got one more buy or sell for you here. This one comes from Blade Raider. Don, buy or sell. Titans return punch, counter punch with 2 Titan Masters for the different faction modes.
I think it would depend on the mold used. I would have to see this thing, how it turned out to be a buy or sell, just because it could be really good or it could be really, really bad. I mean, with the amount of remolding and retooling that they've done on some of these figures, it can be done. But like the punch counter punch we got from the club from a Sunstreaker side swipe mold, that worked really well, except when you got to the head, which was not their fault. But that kind of ruins the whole figure because it just makes the figure look like he was Beetlejuiced. And if you're too young for that reference, go watch Beetlejuice. So yeah, I would like that to happen. I think it'd be an interesting use of some of the molds, but I would want to see how they did it first. I'd be more inclined to see Sunstreaker as a Titan Master and his Titan Master be Hunter. As just an allusion to, the IDW comic, back in the day.
Hey, real quick, last call of the day before we go to before we wrap things up. So, well, they hung up. So, I was going to say,
quick.
Yeah, I was going to say, hey, we're not accepting any more calls at this point. But I said, hey, well, if you're going to call, let's answer it. But okay, no more calls. No more calls. We'll do it next week. Go ahead, Don.
Okay. All right. Well, I think I'm going to kind of go for a low-hanging fruit this week on leaving money on the table, but I think it's something that needs to keep being brought up. The lack of Hasbro's Collectors Club. I think it may not be a ton of money per se, but it's a lot of fan engagement, fan feedback, interaction with people that have quite a bit of discretionary income for your product. And over almost 2 years since the demise of BotCon, we've gotten basically 2 figures in Arcee and Grotesque that could be considered kind of fan club stuff, but there's been no official announcement, no information. And it's like HasCon. I mean, where are we going with this? What are we going to do? What's next? What's anything? And it's really starting to bug me that, again, we all know we're not the target audience. And if you think that Hasbro's making this stuff just for you, you're not. I mean, we're getting, thanks to the movie money, we've gotten a ton of stuff we probably would not have gotten otherwise. But they're missing a key segment with Star Wars trending down to a degree, and then having said they lost a lot of money on Star Wars recently. Again, they're making a lot of money back up from the Marvel properties, obviously, but they know the fan bases out there for the BotCon level figures. They know we have money to spend. They saw us every year drop $300, $400, and $500 for Primus packages, so they know the model may need to be tweaked, but it is a sustainable model of giving us sets of figures or exclusive figures. And again, it's not a ton of money as far as compared to maybe what they might have been getting through FunPub, through BotCon, as money in general, but it's the actual fan. I'm trying to think of the best way to phrase it. Fan interaction, building that level of trust with the fans. Like, we took your BotCon. Here's at least something in the same vein for those of you that liked that collector's experience. And we still ain't got jack. And it's time for them to step up, either say, yes, we're going to do it, and here it is, or say, no, we're not going to do it, and then we can move on to something else.
Don, yeah, you need like a really awesome stinger to put at the end, or and Don, how about this? And it's a Don deal.
Okay. And
no, and that's a Don deal.
Yeah, do it. Podcast listeners won't know. Go ahead, Don.
Okay, and that's a Don